So now you grew up in PG County, and for anybody that sees this who doesn't know where Oxon Hill is or Suitland, home of Kevin Durant, you know, we're talking about a primary black area right outside of DC. I, on the other hand, grew up in a small town. I was born in Maryland, but was raised in a small town in Pennsylvania. And as we talked before, I mean, it was a unique small town. We had a lot of people with Hispanic background because it's a big mushroom growing area, a lot of migrant workers. We had an unusually high number of African Americans in this small Pennsylvania town because Lincoln University was there, the oldest primarily black college in the United States. So we were around that, but it was small town. It was pretty peaceful for the most part. And what I'm getting to is, like, I have friends to this day, you know, 40 years after I moved away from that town, who will say online and social media, well, what's the problem? If you just do what the police tell you, everything's going to be fine.
Right.
And I go,
it's not true. Not always true.
So, and I'll give you a couple examples, and then you can expound on it way better than I can. So, we've lived in Baltimore for a lot of years. My kids grew up. Two of my kids grew up in the city there, and he's tipping his hat back there.
Oh, okay.
But we had, like, the most glaring instance, the Baltimore Gun Trace Task Force, where you had cops trading guns and drugs and stuff with the police department crew up in Philly and this kind of stuff going on. We had a couple of cops arrested selling drugs from the trunk of their car in the police station parking lot. We had cops in Baltimore City who were running a prostitution ring. We had the prison there in Baltimore, Supermax, essentially being run by the inmates. And the gang leaders that were in the prison calling out hits on people on the street from inside the prison. We had prison guards getting impregnated by inmates. And then you've got the district attorney and the mayor and the governor telling people in the community, tell the police we can't.
Right.
So if you're living in the community and you know all of this, Lester, you talking?
Right. No, because you become one of those missing because of how crooked they are with them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch TV shows now, like I can't think of some of them, but they'll have The Wire just gave a nice. It's old, but it gave a nice thing of how what you just talked about was in the city, and how many years ago was that? You know what I'm saying? So you just like, and again, so if you know that, right, it's almost like any cop that pulls. I mean, it's like you driving and you see in your mirror a cop. He ain't got his siren's on yet, but you automatically go into a mode like, I don't want to get put over because I don't know what's going to happen, you know. So it just causes you to become defensive.
Right. So there was a family in Baltimore. I think it was doing when Martin O'Malley was the mayor there, and the mother just got tired of the gang activity in her neighborhood. Her entire family was murdered. They burned the house down with all of them in it.
Right.
And after the mayor had said, "Oh, we're gonna take care of you," they couldn't protect them.
Couldn't even protect them after that. Right.
And it reached a point where, and some police officers are going to hate me for what I'm about to say, but in a city like Baltimore, people on the streets, and I'm going to say, not just black people, but white people of less economic means living in certain neighborhoods, they would say to you, "Cops just another gang, and the law's on their side. You can't mess with them."
I've heard that before.
And